It was a warm start to the weekend, and we will stay very warm once again tomorrow afternoon. We are going to see our temperatures climb into the upper 80s by around midday and upper 90s later in the afternoon. I'll let you know when we'll see the rain next coming up. The CBS 42 News at 10 starts right now.
Tonight, the family of a shooting victim speaks out, sharing the story of a life cut short. Plus, a plane goes down in Talladega County. We'll have details next. And football fans out in droves for the annual Boiling and Bragging event. We take you there right now.
Live with local coverage you can count on. This is CBS 42 News at 10.
I'm prayerful that they'll be able to find out what happened.
Tonight, a mother is now coping with the devastating news that she will never get the chance to speak with her son again. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Robert Sherman. Thursday night, 2 young men were shot and killed in Montgomery. 3 others went to the hospital with gunshot wounds. CBS 42's Malik Rankin sat down exclusively with one of the victims' families, now forced to plan a funeral.
21-year-old Jaquez Hall was one of the victims in a shooting Thursday evening. In an interview you'll only see here on CBS 42, I sat down with Jaquez's mother, who is struggling to make sense of this tragedy. This is what heartbreak looks like.
My son was so lovable, so lovable.
Jaquez Hall was killed on the first day of his junior year at ASU. He was studying for his business degree.
He said that once he got his business degree, he wanted to be an entrepreneur. He said, Mom, I'm gonna have my own business.
All of the family and friends I spoke with hope to see Jaquez's death mean something and bring change.
If the community could stop the violence, show and share love, that was Jaquez. He shared and he showed love to everyone.
I mean, it's violence, and the propensity for violence is everywhere. But, you know, the expectation is that you send your kids to school and you want them to be safe.
The shooting that ended Jaquez Hall's life is under investigation. His mother says she's praying the truth comes to light.
And we're gonna find out everything that happened and why it happened. Because my son did not deserve this.
Now it's only memories that remain. Police are asking anyone with information on the shooting to call Crime Stoppers at 334-215-STOP. In studio, I'm Malik Rankin, CBS 42 News, local coverage you can count on.
Thank you, Malik. We have much more on the story right now on CBS42.com. There, you can hear from one of Hall's past teachers and more. Just search Alabama State University. New tonight, a small plane traveling from Bessemer crashed in Talladega this afternoon. Lincoln Fire tells us that this happened at the intersection of Stemley Road and Meadow River Road, and the pilot suffered minor injuries. The aircraft was a small single-seater that was a remake of a World War I era plane, and the FAA will give an official report after the crash. Investigation is completed. Also in Talladega and new tonight, people rallied at the Knoxville Homes Apartments today. This was in response to the alleged shooting death of Javion Ousley by an off-duty Lincoln police officer Tuesday night. This gathering took place at 6:30 and included local residents demanding action. Officials tell us that Ousley died from a single gunshot wound, and tomorrow there will be a prayer vigil at Alabama A&M in Ousley's honor. Join us on the CBS 42 News at 10 for coverage of the vigil.
When I met her, she was an angel, and she still is.
Well, a grieving husband lays his wife to rest 2 weeks after she was taken in the mass shooting in El Paso, Texas. But he doesn't have to do it alone. In Texas today, a new extended family was formed for the last victim of the El Paso shooting to be buried. Hundreds of strangers turned out for the funeral of 63-year-old Margie Record. Many of them waited hours in the intense heat to pay their last respects. In this moment, no one would fault Antonio Basco for feeling alone and helpless. His wife, Margie Record, was gunned down 2 weeks ago while shopping inside the Cielo Vista Walmart. But today, hundreds of complete strangers waited for a chance to say goodbye to the 63-year-old, who was a wife, mother, and grandmother.
Cry with her. I would be sad. Because she loved my life.
A post from the funeral home handling Record services gave a bit more insight into the couple's life in this border town. Mr. Antonio Basco was married for 22 years to his wife, Margie Record. He had no other family. He welcomes anyone to attend his wife's services. That one post went viral, prompting people from all over the world to send flowers and gifts. Last night at her memorial, several hundred people lined the streets surrounding the church. Each handshake was a sign of solidarity. Each lingering hug, a sign of love and humanity.
We told him that El Paso loves him, and this is his home, and he has family here. He's not alone.
The services this weekend were meant to honor just one of the 22 people that lost their lives on August 3rd. But the entire community got another chance to heal.
I really appreciate, and I do love the El Paso City. You guys are amazing.
Antonio Basco may have thought he didn't have any relatives left in El Paso, but this weekend, he gained a family of thousands.
I love El Paso, and I'm glad to be your family. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Grief overshadowed by the strength of the Sun City. Basco and Record met around 22 years ago at a bar shortly after he quit riding rodeo in Omaha, Nebraska. Back here at home, volunteers with the Alabama chapter of Moms Demand Action gathered in Kelly Ingram Park today in response to the mass shootings in El Paso and Dayton. The rally is one of many being held in states across the country. We spoke to organizers who say it's important to pay attention to gun laws all the time, not just after mass shootings.
Well, I think that most people really only pay attention to gun laws after mass shootings like what just happened in El Paso and Dayton, but really what people don't realize is that there are 100 gun deaths a day in America and hundreds more are injured by guns. And so what we really want to do is make sure that that doesn't happen. We want to lower that number. We want to keep guns out of the hands of dangerous people.
A total of 31 people died in the shootings in El Paso, Texas and Dayton, Ohio, and dozens more were injured. Turning now to weather, I'm here in the Weather Center with Storm Team meteorologist Sarah Canty. So, Sarah, it's been hot as of late. Is there any chance we get a little bit of rain?
Well, there is next week, thank goodness, because we are seeing a good bit of drought conditions across our area, even severe drought for some, and we might get a little bit of a break from the really dry conditions through next week, but nice and clear out there right now. Today we hit 100 degrees in downtown Birmingham, and normally we should be in the low 90s, so still seeing temperatures well above where they should be. But notice this morning our temperatures fell into the upper 60s. It actually felt pretty cool out there today. That's because of lower humidity throughout the day. Dry air heats up and cools down really effectively, so you weren't mistaken if you didn't think it felt too bad out there early in the day. Our temperatures were actually pretty low, but the humidity is going to start to pick up. We're going to notice that even this evening, where we're seeing temperatures still pretty mild in the low 80s in Tuscaloosa, Mountville as well, sitting at 80 degrees, 83 in Birmingham. Cool spot is Coleman right now at 71. Another hot one tomorrow, 97 will be our high. Then we're going to start to cool down just a bit thanks to more widespread showers. Of the latest timing and who could see the rain coming up in my full Storm Team 7-day forecast. Robert.
Well, thank you, Sarah. Well, CBS 42 is your local election headquarters, and while the primary election for Alabama's 2020 Senate race is still months away, the candidates are already on the campaign trail trying to raise money. We spoke to CBS 42 political analyst Steve Flowers, who tells us that funding plays a large role in any election. So far, Representative Bradley Byrne is a Republican who has generated the most funding, whereas Roy Moore has generated the least. Flowers tells us that he believes it's because Byrne has something that the other candidates do not.
Simply because he's an incumbent congressman, and in that position he's able to raise money out of Washington. The Washington formula is that's where most of the money which is raised for Senate and congressional races comes from Washington.
Flowers says that whoever wins the primary will eventually have access to more funding as Republican donors fight to win back the Senate seat lost to Democrat Doug Jones in 2017. To news out of Huntsville tonight, NASA officials were in town this weekend to announce the Marshall Space Flight Center as the official home of NASA's next lunar landing mission. NASA Administrator Jim Burdenstein says Huntsville will take on a large role in putting men and women on the moon by 2024. The human landing system for the Artemis program will be developed in the Rocket City.
This is not a decision that was made lightly. A lot of hard work has been done here in Huntsville over really well over 10 years now regarding landing systems.
And although the Marshall Space Flight Center will lead the way, other parts of the landing system will potentially be built at other NASA centers. In education news, crews are at Huffman High School this weekend fixing the air conditioning. And this comes after Birmingham City Schools announced that there were AC issues at the school and classes were canceled Friday. Faculty and staff members still worked Friday, however. The school system tells us that the issues stemmed from failed compressors and motherboards within the system. New at 6, Legion Field's new turf is set to debut 1 week from today. This is the first time the turf at Legion Field has been replaced since 2006. The new turf is part of an effort to attract more sporting events to the city of Birmingham, including professional soccer and more college football. We caught up with Birmingham City Councilor William Parker, who tells us that this is all about ensuring Legion Field's longevity.
We're excited to have the $714,000 investment on behalf of the city and the park board as we continue to make improvements at Legion Field, but also just part of the larger conversation of how we make sure that Legion Field stays viable for the next 50 years.
The new turf will debut August 24th during a doubleheader football game. Carver and Parker play at 4 o'clock. Ramsey and Minor play at 7. Happening tomorrow here in Birmingham, a local barber will be giving the homeless a helping hand. DeJuan, the neighborhood barber, will be at Kelly Ingram Park giving the homeless free haircuts. That event starts at 9 in the morning. You can see coverage of it tomorrow right here on CBS 42. There's much more still ahead here on the CBS 42 News at 10, including a rash of diseases linked to vaping, what doctors are warning about next. Plus, Birmingham's newest cafe is officially open, but it offers more than just coffee. We'll have details ahead.
I know we could really use the rain. We could see a few stray showers, mainly in South Alabama tomorrow, but then our rain chances will be climbing through next week. I'll have the latest coming up in my full storm team 7-day forecast after the break.
You're watching CBS 42, local coverage you can count on. This is CBS 42 News at 10.
Welcome back. Well, health officials in at least 15 states say they've seen cases of lung disease that could be linked to vaping. In all, more than 120 cases were identified. That data comes from a CNN survey of state health departments. Health officials can't say for sure whether vaping is directly responsible for the diseases or not. And it's also not clear whether the lung diseases are acute or chronic. The Centers for Disease Control is asking doctors to collect samples of what similar patients were vaping. There are many different formulas for materials used in vaping devices. And new findings suggest aspirin could benefit certain breast cancer patients. Researchers at the University of North Carolina studied over 1,000 breast cancer patients and found that the risk of dying was lower among those who took aspirin. The survivors also had tumors that had specific DNA characteristics. The CBS 42 digital exclusive tonight, Alabama's first cat cafe is now open in Birmingham. Gattos and Beans Cafe opened in Avondale on 3rd Court South back in July. And the coffee shop has a room dedicated to cats up for adoption. Customers can pay $10 for a drink and 1 hour to spend with the cats.
Everybody is so nice, and everybody that's been in there has had a fantastic time. They come out, they're either excited or they're just smiling, and they're like, this was so fun and stuff like that. So we're getting a lot of really good feedback.
And adoption fees for the cats benefit local animal shelters. You can learn more about the Cat Cafe in our full report only on CBS42.com. Right now, you can enjoy a meal in Birmingham at a discount. It's the annual Birmingham Restaurant Week, which runs through August 25th. Organizers tell us that there are around 60 restaurants participating. To see if your favorite restaurant is on the list, you can visit CBS42.com. Just search Restaurant Week. New tonight, the Autism Society of Alabama hosted a special fundraiser this evening, the Havana Nights Autism Shines Gala. The event was at Regents Field and featured food, live music, and an auction. And those auction packages included local goods, vacations, and sports memorabilia. The ASA also recognized individuals paving the way for better education and advocacy regarding autism spectrum disorder. Our own Sherry Jackson emceed the event. And in Crestline today, it felt a lot like football season. Fans were at Odie's for the annual Boiling and Bragging event. There was a cookout, low country boil, kids activities, and more. And it all benefits the critical care transport team at Children's of Alabama. Fans from all across the state attended.
This is our 3rd year to come, and we thoroughly enjoy it. And we actually live in Huntsville, so we came down on a bus with a group of friends just to have a good time and support Children's Hospital.
This was the event's 10th year. CBS 42 was a proud sponsor, and our own CBS 42 chief meteorologist Ashley Gann, was there to join the fun. And now time for a check on the weather with CBS 42 Storm Team meteorologist Sarah Canty. So we've seen some heat for the past few days. What are we looking going forward?
Well, we're going to be hot again tomorrow. It was a beautiful night tonight at Boiling and Bragging, but it was a little warm, and you're going to notice our temperatures stay pretty warm this evening. Looking live in Tuscaloosa right now, we're sitting at 80 degrees, but it's feeling a little bit warmer because humidity is on the rise. We really got a break from the oppressive heat today thanks to the lower humidity. It was hot. We were in the upper 90s, but still, we didn't feel closer to 110 thanks to the lower humidity with drier air in place. Unfortunately, we can already see that that's changing, evident right now in Tuscaloosa, sitting at 80 degrees, 80 in Moundville as well, 72 cool in Hamilton and 71 in Coleman, as well as 72 in Jasper. So just about everyone mainly in the upper 70s, except for a few lucky ones in the low 70s. I showed you the dew points earlier at 6 o'clock, and they're already on the rise. Earlier, we had dew points in the mid 50s and a little bit lower than 60 degrees. Whenever we see this number start to climb, just like it is right now, that means it's getting more oppressively humid outside. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, you're definitely going to notice that. All is quiet on satellite and infrared imagery right now across the area, but we are keeping our eyes off the coast of South Carolina here and really right along the North Carolina-South Carolina border, where we do have the potential for a tropical system to develop. Really low end chance, though, only about a 10% chance of rain for that. But that's why we're seeing a good bit of showers and thunderstorms off to our east. But we are nice and dry, and we are going to stay that way mainly throughout the day tomorrow with only a stray shower. We really need the rain, and I know a lot of people want to know, well, when are we going to finally see a soaking rainfall? Good chance of that happening later into the work week, but for now, we are just staying really dry. Severe drought even through portions of Shelby County and up into Jefferson County and down through Chilton County as well. So this area here in the orange, severe drought across portions of our viewing area. So we need the rain. We really could see it later in the week, but we'll stay dry for the most part tomorrow. We'll wake up to mainly the mid-70s tomorrow morning, but we'll be hot once again tomorrow afternoon and more humid. So it's definitely going to feel more muggy outside. Our temperatures are going to climb to right around the mid to upper 90s possibly, where we see a little bit more cloud cover that'll help keep our temperatures down just a bit. Work week will start off dry, but then we will see a few isolated showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Better chance of rain by Monday evening as we have a weak disturbance move through. So the potential is there for heavy downpours at times on Monday evening. And you'll notice our rain chances will be climbing throughout the work week. So it is going to be hot and dry tomorrow, but changing over the next several days where we will see our typical afternoon scattered storms each and every afternoon with temperatures in the low to mid 90s. Robert.
All right, Sarah, thank you. Well, Alabama's second scrimmage of fall camp is in the books. We'll head to Tuscaloosa to hear from Nick Saban. That's next in sports.
All right, here we go to Atunga Bailoa and the Tide rolling through fall camp with a new offensive coordinator yet again. Steve Sarkisian bringing a bit of a different attack to the Bama offense this year, having coached in the NFL. Sark plans to open the playbook and be sure to spread the ball around to the country's top receiving corps. This afternoon, Bama held its second preseason scrimmage, and Coach Nick Saban seemed pleased with the improving passing game.
He's a good quarterback. He makes good decisions when he's in the gun. He makes good decisions under center. I think having a combination of those two things is probably a good thing. I think we have a little more diversity in the passing game.
Speaking of the passing game, the quarterback race continues on the Plains as fall camp will quickly be turning into game prep after 2 Auburn scrimmages. Offensive coordinator Kenny Dillingham says both Bo Nix and Joey Gatewood will help the Tigers this fall. Good chance we'll see both guys in Dallas against Oregon. As for a day 1 starter, we'll likely hear a decision this week. And the road to a 6th straight Ohio Valley Conference championship is underway for JSU. The Gamecocks coming off a 9-win season, and Coach John Gross impressed with this team's chemistry during camp.
That's what I like about this team. You tell them something, they get it corrected, and very few times during camp I had to tell them something. They're handling their business, their self, and they're getting better every day. And that's what really good teams do. And the question mark's still out if we're that team or not.
The high school season is less than a week away now, and we're stopping in with John Carroll High School. Cavs had a tough time getting it done last year with a very young roster, but Coach Cole and the gang, they're back, this time with some experience under their belts.
We played a bunch of young kids last year. Had 14 ninth graders playing significantly for us or starting at one point in time. So they've got a lot of experience. So we feel like that's going to play dividends for us this fall.
It's the first year that we had everybody as a team together in the weight room. So we really got that chance to bond together in the weight room, get stronger, faster together. So I think on the field that leads to more trust.
Second shot.
Last but certainly not least, when you got it, you just got it. 3rd round of the BMW Championship belonged to Bama's own Justin Thomas. The former Tide standout wasn't good. He was unbelievable today. Started the day with 5 straight birdies, then later chipped in for a birdie from the rough, and then that right there, an approach shot from 180 yards in the hole, his 2nd eagle of the day. Yes, 2. Thomas shot a course record 61 and finished with a 6-shot lead headed into Championship Sunday. Unbelievable. That's all for sports. We'll be right back.
You're watching CBS 42, local coverage you can count on. This is CBS 42 News at 10.
Going to be hot again tomorrow. We're going to be in the upper 90s, and it is going to feel a little bit more humid outside. So I hope you enjoyed it today, because that was a little break from the humidity. Not going to be the case tomorrow. It's going to be very hot. Only isolated showers mainly in South Alabama, but better chance of rain as we move later into the work week. So scattered storms will be across the area just about each and every afternoon. So hopefully some spots can get some much needed rainfall.
My goodness, that old umbrella is going to be getting a lot of work next week. Well, that's just about all the time that we're going to have, but we'll see you tomorrow on the CBS 42 Morning News, 5 and 7. Have a good night.